Hello and welcome back to Lunacid. This is episode 19. We're starting in the main menu again in order to show that it is still a full moon. And I have inquired whether I'm still like conceptually missing something about the full moon thing, and apparently I do. So the friend who recommended the game mentioned that, yeah, you should find something in the arena area. So I went through large chunks of the arena already in the last episode. However, I had to abort mission when I ran out of antidotes. Since then, we have gathered 12 more antidotes, which should help survive all the plants poison in the arena. And so let's see what we can find. So apparently the crown is a full moon thing. So I wasn't sure whether that's you finish the game and the game kind of reveals that Clive is like linked to Calamus. I mean, that's, I guess, what I take from that. Anyway, so let's go. Yeah, I should actually unequip Staff of Osiris because we don't have any of those anymore. Used somewhere broken. Should we try the corrupt key in places? Okay, so let's warp to the arena again. So in the last episode I've mostly been around one of the sides. So the Forlorn Arena has these two kind of parts to it. The left side up there. And the right side over there. So last time we've been to the left side. I feel like I was fairly thorough over this way, but I really couldn't find anything interesting. Just a bunch of poisonous plants. I don't believe that the skeletons are like what we are supposed to find here during the full moon. I mean, I guess they're here, but it doesn't mean that they're like super cool or super special. Okay, maybe I'm gonna run around the central bit first before we commit to any side specifically. So this is forward towards Suxarius. I mean, all of this is broken. So maybe the special key is to be used here? Throwing knife. Fiddlehead. Yeah, none of this seems special in any way. But yeah, it was actually the other side that I was feeling less confident about. It had many more like very open sections combined with very constrained sections. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's something interesting happening in one of the really open areas. Wait, is this where we're going? Oh look, this actually shows the symbol up there. See the... Huh? Wait, what? Did I move forward accidentally? What was it? Earth? Earth talisman symbol up there? I don't recall whether the other one had the water symbol on it. We can check afterwards. And it's gone. Right. So the only hint I have been given is there is something in the arena. But I don't understand. This leads back to the big sword room. I don't get it. Is there supposed to be something in the middle that I just don't see? Like the centerpiece? Wait, but these have 3 symbols, right? Oh, no. This is the water symbol, this is the earth symbol. And this is both of them together. Because both of them together need to go here? Or rather, I needed to open this because there was a barrier here. Yeah, okay, I get it. What? Broken sword? What is this? This doesn't make sense. It should be... Is it a material? It is. What remains of a knightly arming sword? However, it has been broken by strange magics that keep it within a twilight state of being. What? Is this only here during a full moon? Or have I just never seen this? Huh. Okay, let's see if any of the NPCs know anything about that broken sword. Also, I need to check real quick. I'm not sure I will receive an answer before I have to stop recording. But it's something. It's something. Does anybody know anything of that broken sword? What's up? Nice of you to drop by. Everything feels at peace today, or did you need anything? Sure. Salutations, Valnek. Always nice to see you. Foresee yourself doing any alchemy today? Yes. What do we do with that broken sword? Nothing? What? How does that make any sense? Have I ever told you about how the cursed knight was defeated by the warrior Valnek? You have. My bad, another time then. What? What are we supposed to do with a broken sword? But... what? I am so confused. Because the only things that we normally can do with materials is alchemy. But why can I not select? I don't get it. So nothing we can do with... with vampiric ashes? Poison throwing knife. Did we have that recipe? One, two, three, four. Destroying angel mushroom, 2 ocean bone shells. That's the problem. I'm usually out of destroying angel mushrooms. That's why I never found this recipe before. Okay, poison throwing knives, fine. So we have 4 more recipes that we don't know what they do. I'm so confused by this alchemy system. It feels very glitchy at times. Okay, so what do we do then? Because I don't know what to do with that sword. Let's grab some more of the mushrooms. Because if we usually don't have any of them, maybe there's more recipes with them? Does that make sense? Why can we not do anything with the fiddlehead, with the vampiric ashes? It's strange, right? That would indicate that we're still missing like entire types of items that we've like never seen. It's so crazy. Or they're like super secret, hidden like that broken sword. Wait, that's not where I want to go. It's very weird that it's a material, this broken sword. And even more so weird that it doesn't seem to combine with anything. Actually, I wanted to check out the Sanguine Sea once more now that it is full of blood. Maybe something has changed there too? It's still so many weird items. Dusty crystal orb. It's so crazy that they give you this dusty crystal orb after you have like defeated Saxarius and, well, at least been thrown back into the main menu, having been told, oh, this is not an end. But this item doesn't do anything, and it doesn't even give you a hint as to what to try? Perhaps at a later time. I feel like there must be a way to use alchemy to create more of these urns. Count one? What do you mean count one? Count one? Oh. Did we die after we used it? Or is it a reusable? Man. Come here, bunny bunny. Okay, what do we do now? Go back to alchemy, see what we can do with the mushroom? Because if they're used for poison throwing knives, they might be used for poison urns as well. Because we can make bombs, I think, which do fire damage. Let's go check if we can make poison urns. Ocean bone shell? Right. We knew that. But ocean bone shard? Bloodweed? Did we have that recipe? We didn't. Okay. So we have bombs. Poison urn. Ashes and bones. What was that again? Survey banner, right. Destroying angel mushroom and 2 ocean bone shells. That's poison throwing knives. Poison urn. Destroying angel mushroom, ocean bone shard, and bloodweed. Fool's gold. We cannot combine that with anything. Fire coral can not be combined with anything either. Vampiric ashes can also not be combined with anything, right? Fiddlehead. Nothing. Why do these items exist? I don't understand. Onyx. Lotus seed pod, obsidian, snowflake, obsidian, bones. Onyx and bones? What? What are you trying to tell me? Bones, onyx and onyx? We don't have a recipe that has bones and onyx in it. Okay. Destroying Angel, Lotus Seed Pod. Hold on a second. Ocean Bone Shard. Oh yeah, okay, that's that one. Yeah, but bone and onyx is a combination that we don't actually have in any recipe. But we don't have a third thing for it, which is crazy. Unless the ordering matters, because sometimes it seems not to, and sometimes it does. It's very crazy. Ashes. Wait a moment. Onyx. No, I think we're done with all of the permutations now, right? Like bone and onyx seems to be a thing. Ashes, moon petal, and obsidian. Do we have that? Moonlight vial, yes. Moon petal, obsidian, and ashes. Okay. Fire opal and ashes. That was the bomb, I think. Yeah. Ashes and bones. Wait, ashes and obsidian? Wait, did I just check that? Wait, ashes, obsidian? And moon petal, yeah, okay. But let's try ashes, obsidian, and ashes. Or ashes, obsidian, and obsidian. No. Oh. Three ocean bone shards are throwing knives. Moon petal, obsidian, ashes. Moon petal, bloodweed, and yellow moral. Ichor root. Ectoplasm. We don't even have the Ichor root. Do we? We don't. We would need to go grab it. Oh. I guess it's important to have all the possible ingredients. Because maybe that's what we need for the broken blade. I might have to go run around and do a bunch of collecting items. Ichor root is what we get from here. I am confused about the Staff of Osiris, though. Let me test that thing so that I actually can make sure that I know what it does. So we save, we take the Staff of Osiris. Wrong direction. Let's take the Staff of Osiris back into the Sand Temple. We haven't actually been inside the Sand Temple with full moon, I don't think. Okay. And now? What do you do? Are you not supposed to damage nearby enemies? On enemies who approach. Wow, that's pretty powerful. I'd love to be able to craft these. But I wouldn't even know what to start, like... You know what, we can probably actually craft dark urns now as well? Considering that we can make poison urns? Ah, maybe it's dark urns and light urns what we can make. How would we find more VHS tapes? So the thing that I wanted to test is if we now leave the area and teleport back here, is the Staff of Osiris usable again? So we don't save, we just warp. It seems to be gone. Okay. So I actually want to load the game again. So that we still have it, right? No. Here. Interesting. So, hold on. Assuming we can create all of these urns with alchemy, right? Assuming that. No, recipes. These are poison throwing knives. Health vial, mana vial, crystal shard. Antidote, moonlight vial. Fairy moss, spectral candle. We still don't have the root. We cannot experiment with more recipes in the root. Like imagine the 2 fiddleheads and 1 ill root could make something, right? If we don't have the root, we cannot test that. So yeah, poison urn is the only urn that we can make, that we have the recipe for. But there's still light urn and dark urn in our inventory. And wasn't there also magic urn? Dark urn. Poison urn. Light urn, yeah, okay. I don't see a magic urn type thing, but... So assuming 2 more of the unknown recipes are light urn and dark urn, there's one recipe that is just nothing that we don't know. And why does nothing combine with so many of these ingredients? It's crazy. Huh. So, what else can we try and experiment with? Do we need to take that broken sword to places like to Castle Le Fanu? Is like the bell tower gonna open now? Mysteriously? Or the clock tower, whatever it was called. No. Clock tower. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if the clock tower isn't even a thing. Where else could we take the broken sword? If that even is what we were supposed to find in the arena. I still haven't received any reply. Should we continue running around through the arena? No. Now that we're here, let's check the lake. Because now it has so much blood in it. Are there still enemies here? Because there used to be enemies around. Actually, no. I was just thinking maybe the increased water level allows us to like reach more places? But I don't think that makes sense because we've had Icarian flight for a while now. Are the skeletons still here? The skeletons are still here. Wow. Interesting. We are going this way. Oh, maybe with all the blood it would have made it easier to deal with that demon? I don't really see anything that's like different now. There were these other enemies that were like drinking blood over here somewhere. Are they still around? Oh, they're swimming now. Okay, so they are still around. Hold on, where are we? Wow, why is it so deep here? Huh, yeah, nothing essential seems to have changed here. Apart from the hammerlith enemies are not swimming. I don't really care about that all that much, honestly. I mean, the music is different here now, right? And that's the entrance over to the crypt. No, that's the sewers. Which is fine. Wait, are the sewers different now that there's so much blood here? Huh. Yeah, this seems the same. Yeah, all of this is the same. Okay. How's Jalisha doing? Hey, cutie. Huh. Didn't really do anything. This feels different. Was that always blue? The light feels really different here. Am I hallucinating? Was it always like that? The blue feels different somehow. Yeah, but I don't know what to do about any of this. I guess we might as well go collect some Ilb roots. There we go. At least now we have one of the roots. Sold the forbidden and frivolous purpose of lithomancy. I have no idea what lithomancy does. It does not seem to be interacting with anything. Should we check the recipes with Ilb root then? So there's one that we already have. Let's check that again. Ectoplasm, Ilb root, and fire opal. Okay. Bones. There's combination of bone and Ilb root now. Interesting. So there's bone and onyx and there's bone and Ilb root. Do we need two of those? Huh. Which is already two of the three unknown recipes, kind of. But none of that explains what's up with that. Wait, but does that really make any sense? Because we have so many more items that have no combination. Like Fiddlehead doesn't combine with anything. Fire coral doesn't combine with anything. And out of the three unknown recipes, two of them are with bone. One of them is bone and Ilb root, and the other one is bone and obsidian. Or bone and onyx? One of those. Why do I have so many, like, vampire ashes? I'm so confused by this crafting system, because it's either there's way more recipes than this list indicates, which I guess would make the most sense, and there's even more ingredients that we have never found. What is going on with this corrupt key? Well, I guess I need to take a break. Alright, so my break was a bit longer. It's actually several days since I started recording this episode, so the full moon has passed. We are in the waning moon phase now, which, let me check. Yeah, the crown of Clive is gone. Yeah, so reason being, I received a confirmation that this broken sword was in fact the thing that we were meant to find during the full moon. I find that crazy, honestly. How are you meant to know that there are items that you can only pick up during a full moon? And then you have to be like in the right spot, because it took me forever to run through the arena to even find it, because it was like just off to the side to the path leading to Saxarius. And I don't know, it's not necessarily something that I expect in like a completely indistinct and forgettable corner to check there. I really expected something to happen during a full moon in a location that is like memorable, like anything that has like a big kind of sculpture, or, you know, in the arena I was kind of more expecting something to happen with these gigantic weapons that we saw everywhere. Maybe that light would like frame something in a way that you suddenly see an item that was there the entire time. Maybe. No, the developers decided, oh no, we're just gonna put a random item in a random spot during the full moon, because clearly that's how you're meant to find it. I don't know. It's definitely a design decision. You can disagree with that, I guess, but be that as it may, we have it now. I still don't know what to do with it, which is not great. However, also since beginning the recording of this episode, I now had enough time to edit another episode, and I noticed multiple things. Most notably, I think I kind of forgot about a weapon that we have. And that also reminded me of the fact that probably I should be reading more of the item descriptions that we have again, because maybe something will stand out to me. I remember picking up some kind of serpent fang thing. Serpent fang, it's literally called serpent fang, okay. A mysterious crimson blade that resembles the curved fangs of a serpent, warm to the touch and very heavy for its size. It leaves a trail of crimson miasma when fully charged and does dark damage. Why do I remember this being poisonous? Because you see, this is a strange weapon that we picked up behind like a hidden doorway near this Maidemus creature, I think, in the Labyrinth of Ash. And I was wondering if this is maybe the poison. What? We can break the sofa? Okay. I was wondering if this is the poison that we need to give a separate will to a follower and their brain. And another idea that I had while checking the episode, like while editing the previous episode, we have picked up this skeleton rattle. Why is there a 1 next to the... So the Staff of Osiris is weird. I'm getting sidetracked again. I was just about to explain a thought that I had, but Staff of Osiris, memo to self, get back to Staff of Osiris. We have picked up the skeleton egg. We had it hatched, and we now have the skeleton rattle, which allows us to summon our baby skeleton follower, right? So, and we're meant to be like cruel to a follower of ours. I'm not wondering, do we need to do something to the skeleton? As one of the rituals for Abdul? Because the first thought that I had, that maybe... Like a long time ago we picked up the blue flame thing? Blue flame arc. Creates a circle of blue fire around the caster for 30 seconds, useful for a brief reprieve of combat, but the treacherous blue flame harms all who touch it. For unlike its amber sister, this fire burns the very essence of life. This sounds really vicious. Is it gonna damage our baby skeleton? Can you run into the fire, maybe? The skeleton is really glitchy. Why are you so glad? Why are you inside of me? This skeleton is crazy glitchy. Let's try to do it somewhere with more space. Because you see, the skeleton is so crazily glitchy, as if we're not meant to be using it to fight anything. As if its main purpose was to fight. Maybe they would have tested it a bit better. That doesn't do anything. Maybe there is some kind of interaction with the skeleton, I just don't quite see it yet. No fact. Ah. That was a bust. Maybe let's still read through more item descriptions and see if anything stands out. I might cut a lot of the reading here unless I find something interesting. A sturdy double-bladed iron axe. Originally, farm tools were repurposed into weapons so that common folk had means of defending themselves from the creatures. Over the ages, it has evolved. A small elegant dagger with inlaid pearl and silver used by Queen Justina Fanu to withdraw magic power from her foes. The arming sword of Great Knight Ophelia. She defended Lyria from countless fog beasts using this sword, and continued service even after losing humanity to vampirism, withdraws vitality from foes. Skeleton, you are driving me crazy. Blessed Wind, a rare sword that uses furious slices of wind to dice enemies but has no block ability. A true legendary relic from an ancient time. Corrupted dagger. An odd curved dagger soaked in blood and covered with a rust-like growth. Bound to whoever has touched it, so that it comes back to them. Type can be switched by pressing block. Scales with dexterity and does dark damage. What does that mean? Oh? Huh. I never quite understood that tapping left trigger is a thing. I guess I only ever held left trigger? Oh, that's what that description means. Interesting. Well, that's probably not gonna solve any one of our rituals, but it's nice to finally figure that out. Cursed Blade. A broken blade from a legendary dark sword. Its power waxes and wanes with the phases of the moon, and on full moon nights it drains the power of its wielder to resurrect its old dead master. This might actually still be a thing, that you need to use this during a full moon until something happens. There just wasn't really any indicator that anything was happening last time I tried it during the full moon, so I'm not sure. Maybe it's only meant to indicate that during a full moon it damages the wielder. Dark Greatsword, a heavy iron greatsword imbued with a strange dark energy. A thin and light piercing sword made of steel, yet dealing dark damage. Double crossbow. A double-arched crossbow capable of firing bolts at faster speeds. Elfin bow. A wooden longbow made from tightly wound vines. A useful ranged weapon created by the skilled craftsfolk of the Elfin Kingdom. A gold longsword inlaid with silver and sharpened beyond mortal talent. A useful melee weapon created by the skilled craftsfolk of the Elfin Kingdom. A dark steel sword that emits a blade-like flame. A long spiked harpoon from before the ages of magic, used by militia to fight huge primordial fog beasts. And designed to be held either like a spear or throwing like a javelin. Type can be switched by pressing block. Skills with dexterity. Let me try this as well. Ah, this sound is funny. The hitbox is unexpected. Huh. Interesting. A curved golden weapon favored by the Anpu half-jackal warriors known for their unique talents at embalming. Halberd, a heavy iron weapon utilizing an axe bladed up a long spear. Though typically used against foes on horseback, knights found their reach a great advantage. A steel longsword typically given to the castle guard. Though the castle fell long ago, these swords remain as a testament to the quality of the royal armory and have been passed down for generations. A curved icy blade imbued with some lost form of ice magic. A simple torch but upgraded with iron bands that protect the wielder's hands. Jotun Slayer. A massive obsidian greatsword with a broken blade. Once a sacred relic given only to Knight Griffith's elite knights. Now a pale shadow of its former glory. The sheer size and weight of it makes it an unsuitable weapon for humans. The old one that waits, dreaming, is awake. Who are these figurements, spirits of a dream to resist? None can, and you shall display your power over them. Lyrian Greatsword, a relic of the fallen kingdom Lyria, imbued with silver moonlight. A blade of superior quality, but as all things Lyrian were banished, their use in battle is shamed. 162 damage, man. Moonlights, a lost relic from the kingdom of Lyria. When the moonfall came, it smothered the very school of magic where this blade was kept. Made of crystal, surrounding liquid moonlight, this blade dispels darkness. Obsidian Poison Guard, an obsidian shield that redirects poison to the wielder's blood. Typically used in the offhand, when a sword would be held opposite. Does dark damage. Privateer Musket, a peculiar ranged weapon from a lost time. Back when people still braved the corrupted poison sea, does dark damage. Ritual Dagger, a strange wicked-looking instrument. Seems to not do much damage, as it was intended to make victims suffer by inflicting tiny piercing wounds, which got infected from a poison coating the blade. Saint Ishi. A blade from a dead world, a twisted seal wrapped around countless sacrifices. Does split dark and fire damage. What was that again? Right. Serpent Fang we just read. Shadow Blade. A single-edged sword with a dark blade has an odd enchantment on it that guards the wielder from most status effects while also causes blindness. Does dark damage. Silver Rapier. A thin piercing sword made of the finest silver, no doubt manufactured during the Crusades for battle against the undead. Skeleton Axe, a crude yet vicious cudgel made of misshapen, sharpened bone. A sharpened steel club, a dangerous and heavy weapon that reflects the user's sheer force of will. Steel Lance, a large spear designed for cavalry. Deemed outdated by the surviving kingdoms, yet its reach may prove valuable, along with its ability to rend foes by charging the blade into them. Steel Needle, a strangely modified rapier with the guard removed. Though quick and agile, some defense is sacrificed. A sharp spear with a steel point manufactured en masse during the Crusades into the Great Well. Twisted Staff, a magical staff made from twisted birch that emits white-hot fire magic. Vampire Hunter Sword. An ancient sword used by a famous vampire hunter. Its blade forms an elegant arc and does light damage. A Wolfram Greatsword, a massive sword made of a rare metal called tungsten. Very few can swing it effectively, and its blade has gone blunt with overuse. But the sheer weight is enough to fell most foes. Wooden shield. A typical wooden shield, normally used in the offhand, and paired with a sword or thrusting weapon, provides ample defense if timed well. Nothing really stands out. I might use this sword for a while. Because split dark and fire damage probably damages most foes. Well. I feel like reading some more item descriptions, this time spells, but we might just do that in a different place. How about Castle Le Fanu? So I just want to make sure that there's like not too many enemies. We're gonna sneak up on me while I read. Alright, more spells. Barrier. An earth spell that creates a protective wall in front of the caster, useful for temporary respite. But also useful for platforming, as we've figured out. Bestial Communion. An ancient spell used to confer with inhuman things, no doubt outlawed and shunned. As a magic that allowed some to make demonic pacts. You know what? Let's try to... Did I... Can it connect with our skeleton baby? No. No. Okay. What else do we have? Blood Drain. A simple form of blood magic. Rather than hurting one's enemies, it simply sprays them with blood. A weaponized form of blood magic. Some warriors sought these forms of magic to rely on their vitality rather than magical power. I finally actually understand what this means. I don't think I had the mechanics of the blood spells like fully internalized when I read this. What that means is, in order to cast this, you cause blood loss on yourself, which temporarily reduces your vitality. And you don't actually spend any mana doing that. Creates a circle of blue fire around the caster for 30 seconds, useful for a brief respite, a reprieve from combat, but the treacherous blue flame harms all who touch it, for unlike its amber sister, this fire burns the very essence of life. It feels like this should tie into one of the rituals, but I cannot quite put my finger on it. Also, you need to leave. Where were we? Blue Flame Arc. Coffin we've already used extensively. Summons a wooden coffin. The bodies within these coffins have long ago turned to ash. None know how many bodies have been thrown into the pit. The Mad Wizard Abdul thought of them more as usable resources and created a few of these rings. Why does it mention Mad Wizard Abdul? Dark Skull. Fires a mass of dark energy in the shape of a skull. Though abundant, dark magic is not well documented due to being outlawed by the church. The fact that this mentions Mad Wizard Abdul, it screams to me that this is tied to one of the rituals. But how? You know what? Let's experiment a bit with that. No, I haven't equipped it now, have I? No. Give me the coffin. What if we go to the prison and try to... Oh, you don't actually take a lot of damage from dark, do you? Way better weapon against you. Alright, we're still slowed, but... What if we can use the coffin somehow here with the prisoner and the angel somehow? Had we tried that already? Well, that didn't do anything. What, the moonlight? Do anything with the angel? Huh. Would the blue flame arc do anything with the angel? Can we cast it in the air? Yeah, we kind of can. Hold on, wasn't there the body of Etna up here somewhere? Can we burn the body of Etna? That was her, right? I miss the wind and the rain, painful as it was. I miss the sky and the people, hurtful as they were. I will leave. The only way I can, leaving this body behind. Can we burn your body? No, of course we cannot. You said you missed the wind. Where was the wind? Blessed wind. Huh. Actually, coffin? No. I'm not even sure whether Etna's body counts as a prisoner. I mean, what other spells do we have? Dark Skull fires a mass of dark energy in the shape of a skull, though abundant dark magic is not well documented due to being outlawed by the church. Earth Strike launches an earthen boulder at the enemy, a simple but effective technique. Fireworm summons a worm-like wall of fire in front of the caster. An advanced weaponized pyromancy created by Fire Witch Ashley in order to fend off large beasts. Summons a flaming light that stays where it is cast for 45 seconds. A simple form of pyromancy created by Fire Witch Ashley. Fires a flaming javelin, a weaponized form of pyromancy created by Fire Witch Ashley. Summons a spectral orb of light that follows the caster for 60 seconds, useful for illuminating the depth of the well. Holy Warmth. A holy magic that revitalizes the user simply at the cost of mana. I forgot that we had a healing spell. A magic which enhances the caster. Enhances the caster's jump ability for 2 seconds. A fuddle attempt to escape the Great Well, as the caster inevitably falls back down. Fires a javelin made of ice. Ignis Calor. One of the first discovered fire magics. Uses primordial energy around the caster to raise the temperature of a target. While the spell didn't have much use offensively, it was used to develop many flame spells. Ignores resistances. We used this to get Hicket's armor, right? I wonder if it has a second use. Lava Chasm, an advanced form of offensive fire magic. Pours heat from deep below to create a 14-second pool of lava in front of the caster. Due to its high mana cost, it was not used by many other than the Fire Witch Ashley and her followers. Light Reveal surrounds the target of the caster in light to reveal its attributes, a complex light spell used by scouts during the Crusades. Creates a vibration in the air, resulting in a powerful electric shock. A weaponized light spell used by Holy Knights during the Crusades, and was one of the few spells not outlawed during this time. Lithomancy. A forbidden blood magic that gives life to the inanimate, unable to comprehend existence. These objects only scream, created by Mad Wizard Abdul before his exile. It is unknown what the purpose of this spell was. Once again, it mentions Mad Wizard Abdul, so this must be tied to one of the rituals. Poison Mist. Casts a cloud of toxic mist that hovers in place for 15 seconds. Do we need to use that on one of the followers of the brains? Quick Stride is fairly obvious. I don't think this is tied to any ritual. Rock Bridge. An earth spell that creates a walkable surface in front of the caster. A useful utility spell often used to navigate the treacherous terrain of the Great Well. Fires an orb of slime that does poison damage, given as a gift by your adoring girlfriend Jalisha. Spirit Warp. An advanced magic that warps the user to Wing's Rest. Created by the banished holy monks, so that unfortunate souls might be given some respite. I forgot I have that. Summon Fairy. Summons a fairy as a temporary familiar. Could that tie into one of the rituals, considering they mention followers? Summon Ice Sword. Summons a spectral sword as a temporary soul familiar. Stays for as long as the caster has mana, or until the spell is cast again. Once a spell sword under service for the Holy Lance, they turned into a living sword to survive in the Great Well. Tornado summons a swirling mass of powerful wind magic for 6 seconds. A prized spell for adept wind sages as it displayed their prowess over such a turbulent force. Have we ever used that? I don't have any mana. Huh. Interesting. I wonder if it has some kind of platforming properties. Wind Dash. Uses magic to create a sudden gust of wind, resulting in a launch of forward velocity. Forgot I had that. I was using Quick Stride for the longest time now. Wind Slicer uses a sharp projectile made of wind, standard among battle mages and magic-inclined warriors for its versatility. Yeah, Lithomancy is still one of the biggest question marks I have, because it mentions Mad Wizard Abdul, but I don't have the faintest clue where to use it. I've tried it on all kinds of things, but it never really had any, like, serious effect. I just remembered another thing. Now that we are done with reading spells. I really shouldn't be using that weapon against these enemies. For some reason, in the last couple of hours playing this game, like the last episode or 1.5, I completely forgot that level up is a thing. And I have the suspicion that our character reaching level 100 might actually trigger something. So I don't know how many level ups we have. Buffered up. Come on, give me Quick Stride or something. Yeah, we had a couple level ups buffered up. I cancelled that, didn't I? So we have to distribute all the points. Right, so let's also walk back to Wing's Rest. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. Also, I checked the dialogue with Etna that I kind of skipped over, where she asked me a question that I didn't know what it was, and I kind of tried to cancel, but then probably said no. She actually just asked us to say the word for soothe. I should have said yes without thinking too much. I don't know if that's tied to anything. It was just like a random dialogue. Alchemy. This is still glitched. It's so weird. We still have 3 unknown recipes. I think at least 2 of those are urns that we can throw. Right, so I was going to read through more item descriptions, this time tools. Antidote. A small vial of detoxified poison cures the drinker of any current poisonous afflictions. Black book. I have the suspicion that there is another black book out there. Because our scholar Daedalus, that was his name, right? Keeps on saying that we should look for more books. So either it's just his default dialogue, or there is indeed another black book out there somewhere. Blood wine. So I didn't read the black book. An old book thoroughly soaked in ink. Who knows what knowledge its illegible pages once held? Wine made from fermented blood, a delicacy in aristocratic and vampiric circles, restores one's blood and health if vampiric, otherwise poisonous. Shouldn't that be craftable, especially if you start as a vampire in the vampire class? Bomb, a simple but powerful device, creates an explosion after 7 seconds that deals heavy fire damage to everything that surrounds it. A simple bandage to prevent excessive bleeding, restores blood and stops any current bleeding. Corrupt key used somewhere broken. Why? Why do I still have that? Why don't I know how to use this? This is such a crazy item to have. Because this sprite is just glitched randomness, right? And it is indeed an item that I can use. Just most of the times, or all the times, it says has no effect, has no effect, has no effect. So I don't know where to use it. And just running around the entire world just trying to use that item doesn't feel productive. So I'd love to have an indicator as to where to use it. There might be one somewhere, but I haven't figured it out. It might once again be tied to one of the rituals, considering it was somehow the result of us watching a VHS tape. Are there more VHS tapes around? Man. Crystal lantern. A magical lantern affixes to the wielder's belt and illuminates until used by the user. Crystal shard. A fragile shard of a crystal. By breaking it, the magic that is released surrounds the user and warps them back to Wing's Rest. Dark urn. A fragile urn filled with darkness, typically thrown at enemies. Shouldn't we use like vampiric ashes to do that? dusty crystal orb. An ornately decorated crystal orb covered in a thick layer of unmovable dust that prevents you from looking into it. Perhaps at a later time the dust may fall and reveal something has no current use. What? I mean, the last time I had an item like that was in the game Blasphemous. So if you have not played Blasphemous, maybe a spoiler warning, because it's kind of a heavy thing. In that game you receive an item that reacts to your dying. And it has a really strange description initially, but then like the appearance and the description changes over time, like with more and more deaths. So I'm now wondering what kind of trigger will make this item change. And in this case it cannot be deaths, right? Because in Lunacid a death is kind of a failed state, so you have to revert back to a previous save, and all the changes that happened since then are gone. So death cannot be the trigger for this. I was wondering whether us reaching level 100 would do something to this item. But since reaching level 100, we have saved, we have traveled, nothing has changed. So probably the trigger is a different one, but I don't know what. And we've only received it after defeating Sexarius. And since it explicitly says has no current use, I don't feel inclined to run around and use it with everything. Considering that running around and using items with everything does not feel productive in the first place. So here I'm rather waiting for something to happen. Maybe its item description and icon will silently change. Maybe we will receive a message. I don't know. This is mysterious. Earth Elixir, a flask of enchanted water embodying the spirit of the earth. By drinking it, one becomes closer to the earth and gains plus 40 maximum health permanently. Earth Talisman, a broken piece of a magical item. When the law of combat was all that mattered, a ground arena was formed by the erosive movements of life and death. Ages of conflict would give it form and then be broken. The talismans are weird because we only have water and earth. Stereotypically, you would have 4 elements: water, earth, wind, and fire. However, it's possible that you just had to collect earth and water talismans in the arena in order to be allowed to access Sexarius, and so there's nothing more to it. So there might not be anything about this actually. Enchanted Key, a bewitched key made from ocean bone, able to remove the old enchanted gates that were put in place after the Crusades. We only ever had 2 of these, which is weird. One we bought at the start of the game, and then we got another one to reach the canopy of the forest. Fairy moss, a clump of rutabulum that slowly heals the user for 60 seconds. Health, VI, question mark. Health vial, a golden vial of blood that fully recovers the drinker's vitality, given to knights during the subterranean crusades. These vials remain as a precious relic of that time. Holy water, enchanted water that is used to cure all ailments. Often very diluted, so the knights or clergymen would not be burned by the holy light, should they be less than saintly. Light urn, a fragile urn filled with holy light, typically thrown at enemies. Mana vial, a silver vial of liquid that fully recovers the drinker's magic ability. Made from the cranial fluid of magic adept beasts during the birth of magic. Moonlight vial, a small vial of precious moonlight liquid. Fully restores mana and increases lunacy, a rare item indeed, often kept by the magically inclined for dire needs. We have an ocean elixir, flask of enchanted water embodying the spirit of the ocean. By drinking it, one becomes closer to the ocean and gains plus 40 maximum mana permanently. Oil lantern. A simple oil burning lantern affixes to the wielder's belt and illuminates until doused from the user or environment. Actually, let's equip the ocean elixir, because why wouldn't we? What was the first one? Mana vial? Mana vial. Right, so we were at what? Ocean elixir? Oil lantern, poison throwing knife. A simple thrown weapon made of sharpened ocean bone and laced with a fungal poison, normally used by thieves and assassins to deal damage from afar. Poison urn, a fragile urn filled with poisonous smoke, typically thrown at enemies. Skeleton rattle, an odd rattle made of various bones, shaking it summons your child. There must be another use for this skeleton summon. Skeleton egg. A bony egg laid by a skeleton, cold to the touch and seemingly useless. Skull of Josiah. A large misshapen skull of Josiah the Hermit. Josiah exiled himself, taking refuge within the deep Yosei forest. Although a loner, he nurtured the simple plants of the forest and would give healing herbs to any passers-by. Spectral candle, an enchanted blue candle that emits a ghostly flame capable of keeping beasts away. Staff of Osiris. I need to experiment with that thing, because something strange I think happened with that item. We used it previously. And I was convinced it was gone. I'm fairly certain after that we had saved, but now it's back again. So how does the mechanics here work? We place the staff. It would attack enemies if they come close. Whatever. If we warp away... The staff has number 0. We save. We warp again. Staff has number 0. Maybe it regenerates over time? Because I didn't craft anymore, I didn't buy anymore, and it was gone. It is gone again. It might reappear. Strange coin. A coin made from a soft metal. Just holding it in your palm contorts its form to mimic the lines of your hand. But stored away, it regains its coin-like shape. Is it made of quicksilver? Survey banner. A wooden banner used by scouts to lead armies through the depths. Helps the user navigate by placing it in known locations. Terminus prison key. The crescendo of the Crusades was followed by a slow and painful retreat. And in departure, the Golden Lance constructed many obscene pits and prisons for the defeated. Terminus prison was known as the most harrowing, not only regarding its contents, but for its guards covered in tainted golden masks. Throwing knife. A simple thrown weapon made of sharpened ocean bone, normally used by thieves and assassins to deal damage from afar. A Pyreximal emerald, a brilliantly shining jewel embedded with lost tech magic that grants access to emerald castle doors within Le Fanu Castle. With no kingdom left and no abiding rule above, the vampires of old faded from known existence. A brilliantly shining jewel embedded with lost tech magic that grants access to white castle doors within Le Fanu Castle. Long ago, the Kingdom of Lyria harbored many vampiric citizens, granting them protection in exchange for their magical knowledge. I just noticed that we never received the blue vampiric symbol, which at first confused me, but now I'm even more worried because it should contain a description, right? So I'm missing information? Which is weird in a game where, like, you are stuck with a dozen mysteries at the end where you need to combine obscure clues here and there, and maybe there aren't even clues, but then having a glitch that robs me of an item description feels even worse. A VHS tape, an old strange box. Its function was forgotten long ago. Water talisman, a broken piece of a magical item. As a river of death washed through the arena, it slowly eroded, and soon nothing remained save those who could not die, or those that thrive from death. Wisp hearts. A fragile crystallic prism. When shattered, it summons a wisp to aid the user. Over the years, wisps slowly began to appear. Beings of pure mana evolved from residual magic, left behind over the ages of battle and chaos. So there definitely is some items that still need to find their use. First and foremost, the dusty crystal orb. There must be something about this, but I don't know what. Will this only change after we have done more of Abdul's crazy rituals? The corrupt key definitely has some kind of use somewhere. The question really is where? Used somewhere broken. I mean, this definitely counts as broken. Oh, hold on a second. I think I understand what confused me the last time I was here and surrounded by a bunch of enemies. Because these big skeletons, I remember them lying around like this. But it's possible that they actually become enemies during a full moon. Okay, maybe that's what had me so confused. Fingers of a right hand. How do I get the fingers of a right hand? Can we lithomancy you? Because you're a statue, right? There's more statues like you. I was actually thinking about a specific place here. We might have already tried the strange key, corrupt key. It's also not here, but you are still very intriguing to me. Had we tried? This thing over here? That feels somewhat broken. Had we tried that already? Possibly. Yeah, but that's the big circle that leads me around in the first place, right? Yeah. I think so. Oh yeah, that's all these places here. Is this somewhere broken? Yeah, I don't think you can get there. Where would one use this corrupt key? This is such a useless weapon. Yeah, the thing is, we received the... Was it over here somewhere? This serpent fang was somewhere over here. And when we got it, there was like a book here that we couldn't read. Oh, wait, this is reset? North, north, south, north, south, south. North, south, north, north. So this was north, north, south. North, south, south. yeah, look at this. The script of this book is unintelligible. It seems to shift and slowly change. Dang it. Can we use something to make this book readable again? This doesn't even say it has no effect, so don't try to use it. Does Skelly help us? Okay, this might be something. Can we burn the book? No. What can we do with a book to make it readable? I mean, I would take it and give it to Count 1? Something weird's going on with the Staff of Osiris. Strange coin survey banner. What? Can we spill blood on the book? Can we be still communion with the book? No. Ignis Kalor. Why is this here? Is this only readable during a full moon and I missed my opportunity? We lithomancy the book. No. Lithomancy the candles? I'm out of ideas what to do with the book. Probably it's only readable during a full moon. Oh, I did it wrong. What did I do wrong? What? North, north, south, north, south, south. This is where I started reading a book, wasn't it? Hold on. North? North, south. North, south, south. The book appears at the first south, okay. North, south. North, north. Yeah, I think this is where we got the Serpent Fang. Yeah, I don't know if there's any additional interaction going on with that book. What's going on with this Demus creature? Give me the fingers of your right hand. Man, this is skeleton sound effects are so crazy. Oh man. Well, I don't know. I'm lost on so many levels. Yeah, my issue now is, let's go to Wing's Wrist. My issue now is that I have a lot of different things that I can try, but they will take a long time. And I don't know how much time it will take me to actually have enough footage to complete an episode. I'm already starting to cut out a lot of stuff that just doesn't work or doesn't do anything, so I might actually have to put this playthrough on a semi-hiatus while I'm trying out more things and collect more footage to see that maybe at some point we like figure something out. It might take me a couple of weeks to actually have enough time to try enough crazy things. I will definitely be running around trying to collect more alchemy crafting materials. Because this wild, crazy, broken blade that we received. What remains of a knightly arming sword. However, it has been broken by strange magics that keep it within a twilight state of being. We cannot combine it with anything. Why? Do we first have to restore it somehow? Do we have to do something with it somewhere before we can actually use it in alchemy? Or does it change into an actual usable weapon once we do something else somewhere else? Because what's confusing me right now, the alchemy materials that we have collected up until now only ever had one use, and that was to be combined with other alchemy materials to craft stuff. The broken sword might be different. However, if it was functionally like the skeleton egg, as in we take it, we bring it somewhere, we give it to someone, or we do something with it before it becomes an actual usable weapon, why is it a material to begin with? Right? That's really strange. So yeah, I will definitely be collecting crafting materials so that we can experiment more with different recipes, because we're still missing 3 recipes. Those could give us maybe more hints as to what to do, what to try. Other than that, there's just going to be a lot of trial and error for me, and I cannot possibly expect you to watch through 4 hours of nothing happening. But maybe I won't have more than 4 or 5 hours to record each week, so it doesn't quite feel like an effective use of time. So yeah, that's the state of this playthrough right now. I don't want to start looking things up, right? That's another thing. I'd love to figure out some of these things myself. Even getting nudges from other people is, I find, borderline at times. Because it feels to me like this game should provide enough hints so that you can like figure it out. As I've said multiple times, it is possible that all the hints are there, that I've even read them out aloud, but have not like connected the dots. Because there's a lot of like books strewn around the world. You know how one of them mentioned the blessed wind and a leap of faith, and that kept nagging at me because it felt like I should be jumping into those winds for something to happen, and in the end something did happen. We did receive a weapon. So it's possible that more of the books in the world, like the one mentioning the horsey, is the horsey a reference to my Demus? I don't know. Are we supposed to actually know who wrote all the book entries? Maybe. I mean, the Sand Temple had a lot of them, written by Calamus. I might read through a lot of those texts once again, or maybe only from the recordings or something. I'm not sure, because I definitely cannot remember the location of all of them. Probably several of them do contain some hints that are just a bit obscure. So that's where my headspace is right now. I don't know what else to try. I've tried to throw all kinds of magic against all kinds of characters, people. Everybody here at Wings Rest seems to be immune to anything we do. So I don't know which one of our followers we would be able to separate into different planes of existence. Is Blue Flame the correct tool for that? I don't know. But yeah, just trying out a bunch of things is gonna feel weird and take a lot of time until I finally have enough footage to release another episode. Honestly, I'd be just happy if I figure out one more of the rituals to have 30 coins and then see what's behind that gate. Is it just a different ending with credits this time? I don't know. Maybe there's an entire area hidden behind that door. That would be exciting. I do not foresee myself solving all the Abdul ritual mysteries. That would be too much to expect, I guess. This feels much more like, oh yeah, you're given like a dozen puzzles, and it's enough if you solve 3 of them. Which is fair, because we kind of... one felt like was for free. Right, the Jotun was for free, because there was not a lot of puzzling to that. You only had to find one book somewhere that mentioned that Jotun are beasts capable of magic. And then when you read the instruction to kill a great beast of magic, the conclusion that that's the Jotun is very natural. But that's maybe one of the reasons why I'm so suspicious about all the texts that we've seen throughout the world. They might contain more hints for us what to do, what to try. But yeah, I will have to take my time to do that. I'm only saying all of that in order to justify why the next episode is probably going to take a month or two until it appears. In the meantime, I will probably start another game so that there's going to be more content on the channel without me just running through the world of Lunacid and not releasing any episodes. So yeah, I don't want to give this up quite yet. If it takes me too much time to solve any of the mysteries, I will probably get some nudges, because in the end it cannot really be expected of me to do everything on my own if I don't have the time to do so. Because at this point, time really is a critical factor for me. I mean, if I didn't need to generate an income, I would happily just sit and play video games, but that's not really a long-term plan, right? So yeah. I thank you all for watching up until this point, and I hope you will join me again next time.